gentlemen, to this study and play hybrid stream with your favorite Carrot Corner student, Shu, who has just won the race from 10NL to 25NL, is now playing 25NL, but doesn't have enough of a default game. So today we are going to build that default game. It's very boring, it's very tedious, you don't get to play poker for half an hour. You're going to have to look at some range charts. We're going to have to make some decisions as to who you are. Do you ever play like Elden Ring? You ever play like an Elder Scrolls game? You play RPGs, Shu? You know what I'm talking about?
I know RPG. I know.
You know when you choose a character and you select like their traits and their class and you select their stats and stuff like that? That's a cool part of the game, right? When you play an RPG.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Yeah.
bit. I can spend hours just building their face and making them like look stupid. So that's what we're going to do today. Not make you look stupid, hopefully, but build your poker persona. And I made a YouTube video that dropped yesterday called How to Play a Redline Style, and it features a style called the Menace, but there are actually 4 styles of poker player that I've thought about that exist in the modern day, and all of them are okay. And it's almost like, you know, in an RPG, if you select warrior, like you already have lots of strength and you don't have to like custom all the stats. It's a bit like that. If you can tell me what archetype of player you are out of these 4 that I'm about to tell you, we can decide how to build your templates, right? Like the sizes you're going to default to in certain spots, the way you're going to build your ranges, that kind of thing. So what do you think? Should we give this a go? Should we build you a poker persona?
Sure. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I will explain the archetypes of player and you can listen and have a think about what suits and what doesn't suit. So we're going to start off with option 1, which is the Menace. Any menaces in the chat? Anyone called Dennis in the chat? Anyone called Dennis in the chat who's also a menace? Let us know. The Menace style is all about relentless aggression, not necessarily really big bets or really big pots, but betting whenever it's remotely reasonable to bet. So a Menace style is going to be a small flop C bet on pretty much every board and every spot. That might be slightly smaller on some, bigger on others. The turn C bet's not really going to be an overbet. Like the bigger variant's going to go up towards about 80% pot towards pot. The smaller variant's going to be like 50% pot, depending on the texture. But that's the idea. So when you're betting with that style, you have a higher bet frequency, you put money into the pot more often, you still polarize a bet. Like you don't bet the middle hands, right? They're still checks, as we know. But you can have a thinner value range, a more equity-driven bluff range generally. It's less about blockers. It's more about like just having a slab of equity and some lower equity bluffs as well. And you're going to be doing a lot of things like probing the turn small a lot, probing the river a lot, betting the turn half pot when other people might be going bigger, but you're using all your top pair. You're just reopening the action a lot more. 3-betting the flop when you get check raising a ton for small sizing, that kind of thing. So that's the Menace. It's like constantly applying pressure and sort of annoying people. How does that sound like intuitively to you? Does that sound like you or not like you?
Sounds exactly like me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need to listen to the rest, but I want to listen. Yeah.
All right, you're already sold on the Menace. All right, so the second one.
I love it.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you just bet a random hand because you're the Menace, right? You still need to respect polarization to an extent. Okay, but it does mean playing smaller pots, playing a bit more small ball, constant aggression, dog that bites at people's ankles kind of thing. That's the Menace. So the second style that's viable is what you'll see me do of late in streams, which is the Polar Bear. The Polar Bear is very polar. They play very big bets whenever possible. Not on 7-7-3 or Ace-Ace-4 or Monotone, because those boards are just stupid to bet big on, really. But on any board that's remotely nutty for the pre-flop raiser, they're going to play a low bet frequency with a really big sizing. They're going to check a lot on the flop, and they're going to go to the turn delayed c-bet node a lot, and they're going to like be very polar there as well for like pot size bets and checks. They're going to land on the river really often on like check, 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 check nodes. They're going to be facing turn probes a lot because they check back the flop so often. And when they do bet, they bet very big and they just build like very big pots. This is a harder style to execute than the Menace, and it does involve playing either small pots or really big pots generally, like less medium-sized pots. As the Menace, you're going to play a lot more medium-sized pots. So that's the Polar Bear. How do you feel about Polar Bears?
Wow, that sounds even better, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that. Unpredictable. You never know. I could have nuts or nothing, and either very small and yeah, I like it. It's getting better. Tell me
I'm
more.
just a good salesman. That's really all it comes down to. The
Hard to choose.
third style that I want to talk about. Oh, this stream got age restricted. Yeah, well, mathematical. Maybe just go ahead and log in and verify your age, right? I guess it's this happens sometimes, unfortunately, with poker streams that they randomly get age restricted. Guys, the best thing you can do to help us with this constant battle is just to subscribe to the channel. It's really good if you just subscribe to the channel, because then you get notified when our videos drop. You don't miss the ones that don't get circulated as widely and all of that. But I'm guessing we're live and you guys can see us and hear us, and we don't have any issues here. Let me know in the chat. I don't have the stream up, so just let me know that everything looks and sounds okay. All right, the third style that you can ascribe to as an aspiring poker player that's playing 25 NL is the weasel.
Hmm.
The weasel is a sneaky, timid, not really looking for a fight very often, avoids all the spots that are like break even but involve variance and lots of chips going in, prefers passive lines in small pots, prefers to minimize rake paid by weaseling their way out of having to play bigger pots whenever possible, and will play big pots with the right bluffs and value when they need to, but overall they're going to try and play a very small ball style where they err on the side of not inflating pots and just picking people apart in wide range spots, being accurate, hunting prey that's weaker than them, that kind of thing. I don't think it's easy to sell a style by calling it a weasel, but there we have it. And my good friend Christophe, who you've watched playing on stream, Shu, he is a weasel through and through, a proud weasel.
Hmm.
How does the weasel sound to you?
I still like the polar bear.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Weasel is not for me. Yeah.
Weasel's not for you. No, there's less honor in being a weasel, but in a way there is honor in it because it's its own thing, and if executed correctly, it can be a very high win rate blue line style. The menace, by the way, is more of a red line style. The polar bear is actually a bit flatter across the board. It's probably winning blue line, and red line is like not losing too steeply. The weasel is like you have a steeper losing red line and a steeper winning blue line. And then finally, we have the most redlining style of them all that involves like absolute redlining. That doesn't mean it's the best, right? Because redline has a really overinflated ego in the poker space. But the final style is the warrior. And the warrior is the big pot and small pot battler. It's the reg that purposefully takes other regs and other players into big pots, uncomfortable situations, over bluffs in a lot of spots, applies pressure that just makes people fold too often, runs the pool over, is constantly a nightmare to play against, but also has insanely high variance. And this is an insanely complex style that's very hard to execute correctly. Because obviously if you just blindly bluff every single situation, that can't be right. But the warrior wants to like inflate pots and bluff in them wherever possible. So the warrior is like the polar bear mixed with the menace and on steroids, like sort of beefed up into some sort of like adrenaline fighter. The polar bear is that reg that you hate playing against when you move up to like 500 NL. So what do you think? That's the warrior. Hard style. I would warn somewhat against this one. I want you to choose freely, but I would also say that this style is the hardest one psychologically, mental game wise, variance wise, and technically to pull off.
I think that sounds good. I think that's me.
You want to be the warrior?
Yeah.
You
Warrior.
sure? That's your final
The hardest
choice?
one. Yes. Yes. I want to be in the driver's seats, putting pressures.
Okay. I did not think we were going to be building a warrior game plan today. Wow. Okay. That's
I like
fine.
it.
Let's do it then. Okay. So the warrior has a lot of options, but I would recommend that if you're a warrior, what you're really doing is you're not saving your aggression, but you're definitely backloading a lot of your aggression into later in the game tree, like making people make decisions for stacks very often. Like stacks are flying left, right, and center when you're the warrior, but when you're the menace, you're just kind of betting the earlier streets more. So the warrior is going to build a game plan that revolves around a flop small c-bet strategy on most boards. That's how we're going to start off the warrior strategy. The question, and because that involves like the maximum like frequency that pots grow at. Like as the warrior, we're going to play like the menace style of flop c-betting. We're just then going to be playing like way bigger pots thereafter. So what we're going to do on a flop like this one, Queen Jack 6, is we take a solver output and a B33 sizing, and I'm going to make your game plan on most flops to be to bet range as the warrior, and you can node lock that in wizard. So we're going to start off, I just misclicked, but I'll show you. We're going to start off this by editing, node locking the range. It's already betting 83% of the time, but on boards like this one and any board that you think looks good for your range, you just simplify to range betting 33. So that means that you don't just randomly check a hand on flop because you feel like it. If you're going to play a warrior style, your default is just like bet when checked to as the c-better, unless the flop is horrendous and you have a terrible hand. But generally, you're going to be just betting the flop and making pot grow from there. So let's apply that strategy. So what this is going to do is it's going to very frequently put us in a turn c-bet opportunity, and this is the first node that I want us to practice as the warrior. When we play a session later today, I want you to keep playing poker with theoretical knowledge, like knowing what's good and what's bad, but also trying to just tune your antennae, right, your poker aerial, to a frequency that picks up on where people are folding too often. The warrior is all about making other regs in particular super uncomfortable, over bluffing, putting them to the test, and just like being a nightmare. So have a think about what creative lines, what you could do, river raises, that you did back at the start, turnover bet, shove river, deep, like this kind of thing is the sort of running over style you're going to be playing. You're still going for value as well. By the way, when you're the warrior, it's very important that you don't just suddenly slow play all of your good hands, because you're going to be betting loads of bad hands. You're going to be bluffing a lot. People are going to see you as an aggressive player, and there will be people who take stands against you and call you down lighter than normal. That's going to start to happen to you a bit as you play this style in a non-anonymous pool. And so what I want to get out of your game, first and foremost, is like checking and letting pots stagnate too much. You're the one in the driver's seat. You're the one doing the betting. You're the one basically saying, I've either got it or I don't. What are you going to do about it? Let's play a big pot, right? That's kind of what you're doing as the warrior. So there's also the Mariano style, says Mathemagical, where you non-stop suck out and cooler everyone. It's very profitable. Yeah, I don't have that option. I don't think I've impressed the poker gods enough to have unlocked that tier. Maybe that's like a extra sort of pay to win content. Maybe I don't really subscribe to that, but yeah. So when we are on the flop, we bet range on most boards small. We don't randomly check, right? They're going to call us a lot. They might raise. We'll cover that another day. And you're going to get a turn card. What I want you to understand about the turn is that you're going to be playing a lot of overbet and then shove river strategies and things like this. You're going to be like inflating pots greatly. You're going to be bluffing turn and river quite a bit, but in the right spots, that kind of thing. So if the turn is, let's say, give me a card here that you would be interested in.
Deuce of heart?
Right. So do you think that's an overbet spot or like a spot where you have to size down when you're betting?
Overbet spot.
Yeah. So it's a brick and it's a nut advantage spot. So I want you playing quite a big overbet. Something like, it depends how far you want to push edge here, by the way, right? You do have the option against weaker players and even some regs to size down a bit when you're bluffing and size up a bit when you have value. Because you're a streamer, you need to be really careful about that because people will be watching and some people will know what you're doing. But basically the 25 NL pool is quite inelastic. So if you bet B150 with a value hand and B120 with a bluff, long term against an average opponent that doesn't know what you're doing, that's probably a bit higher EV than just keeping everything the same sizing. So it's just to be aware, if you are against a fish or something, dial up the value bet and dial down the bluff against the fish and do it shamelessly. Like, don't be afraid to do that against any recreational player. They're not going to be watching the stream. They're not going to know who Carrot Corner is or who you are, and you'll get away with it against them predominantly. Against regs that are like you're coming up against more often, you might not want to do that. Like maybe it's okay, but it runs the risk of re-exploitation. It's not great for your mental game. Like maybe you don't want to do that. So deuce of hearts, we're going to program in like a normal overbet size here. What overbet size do you like? Because all sorts of overbet sizes are good here. You can go up to 200% pot. You can play B150. You can play a bit
150
smaller.
is good.
Okay, B150. So you're going to use that in this spot. When you're building that, you're obviously going polar, right? And what I want to show you, the first thing I'm going to teach you today as the warrior is what are the patterns in theory for the warrior. Talk about exploits in a minute. When it comes to hands that you can bet, turn, and follow through brick rivers on really often. Because flush rivers, straight rivers, little bit different. But what are the hands that bet, turn, and follow through on a brick river? And it might surprise you, but if you take a hand like ace 4 here, offsuit, right? That hand is a frequent turn bet. And the reason it's a frequent turn bet is that it is staying out of the way of the bad cards in villain's range. The bad cards in villain's range here are always the ones towards the bottom of the board, but related to the board. So the 10, the 9, and the 8, these cards constitute frequent folds for your opponent. And that's why the hands you don't really barrel on the turn are 9-7, 9-8, 8-7, 10-7, things like this, because they block second pair bad kicker, gutter, like wrong end of the straight. They block the hands that are going to be folding to a turn overbet, right? And you want to stay away from that when you're bluffing. But when you have what we call the extremes, so you can think about this in like polar rank of card if you want. So when you have like an ace and a 4, you have a big card and a low card or something like that, you're going to have the kind of hand that blocks a lot of their continues with like their ace jack, ace queen, things like this. Doesn't block their folding range much at all because they fold ace 8 and ace 7 and things like that on the flop. They fold 4-5 on the flop. You know, they fold 4s on the flop a lot of the time. You have that big card, low card type thing. So when your hand looks like it has nothing to do with the board really in that sense, that's the kind of hand that I actually want us to default to betting the turn a lot with and then shoving the river with on a brick. Because it's also going to unblock their king 10 and their, you know, queen 10 and queen 9 and all these hands that call turn fold river. So to bluff the turn and river here, the first thing to teach the warrior is to just have those cards that stay away from the board a bit. Now, you also want to bluff cards that are draws on the turn, right? So when you have cards like king 10, like sure, you're removing some of the villains, like it's not the best blocker hand in the world, but you have the open end nut straight draw. And you're going to be able to hit the river, shove, and get called sometimes. So it's insanely high EV. So the two main types of hand to bluff on a brick turn like this one for your overbet are the cards that stay away from the board entirely and the cards that connect with the board really hard that are a draw. The ones not to bluff here when you're learning GTO are things like 9-7, 9-8, 10-8, things like this without the flush draw. Of course, you can be really aggressive with your draws as well. And third pair and fourth pair, this is an absolute staple of a turn barrel range when you're using an overbet. These low pairs that block 2-pair block sets, have 5-out redraw. This lesson right now, guys, on like the GTO of turn bluff selection, it doesn't just apply to the warrior. It's just that we're starting here when we're building the warrior because it's more up their street to do this frequently. And we're trying to build a strategy for the player type in question so that they're studying the thing they're coming across most often. Do you have any questions about that idea of formulating the turn overbet bluffing range, firstly?
No, it's clear.
It's clear?
Yeah.
Makes sense theoretically, like why it's the case, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you overbet the turn then, and villain calls, you're going to be playing shove on a brick river. Shove is going to be your main sizing, and it's going to be all in for like a huge sizing, and you're going to get comfortable with this. It's going to be 2x pot, 3x pot, that kind of thing. So let's say the river is a 4. This is a brick. It's not a great card for your range. It's certainly not a bad one either. GTO is going to give up quite a lot of its bluffs here. I want you to overbluff this node for all in, generally, because it's going to be two-folded. They're just not going to call you without 2-pair plus a lot of the time. There will be people that fold range in this spot because they raise the turn with 2-pair. So as you can see here, the ace 5 that we talked about earlier is just a fine bluff on this river, right? Oh, that didn't get there, did it? No, there was a 6, not 3. Yeah, so ace 5 is like a fine bluff here, but also you're going to be following through here with things like the king 5, stuff like this. The 6-4 is 2-pair, but there's other weird hands in here that you're going to be bluffing with as well. Generally, like your lower spades are fine to bluff with, like your lower busted flush draws don't block folds on the river, but your higher busted flush draws do. So the main things to tell you about following through river is on a brick river, you want to shove the cards that have nothing to do with the board. and you want to shove the lower busted flush draws generally. And what you don't want to do is jam the ace of busted flush draw here, like the ace of spades with a 10 or something like that. That's kind of a no-go. You can see there, even with ace 5, when it has the ace of spades, it's a bit less inclined to do it. But you still, you can if your second card isn't blocking folds. But ace 10 is really bad because the ace is blocking folds when it's a spade. Oh, you don't even have ace 10 with ace of spades there. But like ace 10 is bad because you're blocking the 10. You're blocking the king 10. You're blocking the main draw that missed. You're blocking the 10-9, right? The main draws that miss. You want to stay away from those cards that are missed open-enders, that are to do with the board but didn't get there on a brick. You want the cards that don't have anything to do with the board. Shoving queen deuce, right? Shoving fourth pair. Shoving third pair with the 2-pair blockers and set blockers. Why is that playing through the laptop? Sorry, guys, let me try and fix this. I have no idea what it's doing. Where is that coming from, man?
It's not me, right? No.
Oh, is it my phone? How the hell did that happen? It's coming from my phone. My phone just started playing the stream somehow. Sorry about that. So that's the lesson for today. And I'm not gonna go anywhere else with this teaching session. I'm just going to change the texture a couple of times, then we're gonna play some cards. So
I have a question.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, my question is, I heard when people overbet a turn and when they get called, and they less likely to fold the river, especially when river is a brick.
That's not true. For all in, when you go all in on the river, you're kind of posing them a new challenge. The sizing that's a bit underfolded in data, and I don't want to share all the mass data secrets, are in grade E of the Carrot Poker School, part of the golden carrot all in pathway at Carrot Corner. But I will say that if you overbet the turn and then you bet river like B75, that tends to be a bit underfolded, right? Humans aren't very good at taking a hand like top pair, calling a big sizing with it on the turn, and then folding to a smaller sizing on the river. That's counterintuitive to a 25NL reg. But we're talking about going all in a lot here. By the way, you do have two sizes. You can use your smaller overbet again on the river, or a pot size bet, or something like that. And then you can also use an all in. And if you use a big sizing, like another overbet or an all in, the fold equity is fine in most spots. This is generally bullshit when people say, oh, you filtered them so much, they're not going to fold. Like, that's true if it's some tilted fish or whale, and it's true if you're going like really big and then really small at low stakes. But when you're going big and then giant, it reopens the door to fold equity. Like, people aren't calling 3x pot shove on river just because they called a B150 on turn. So let's just be careful we don't make too many sweeping statements here.
Okay. I just thought maybe it's better when there is no break, because they're less likely to call a draw, which means I could have a draw, and when the draw complete, it's flush draw or straight draw.
Yep.
And they'll be more scared because the draw complete. If I shove the river, makes sense. If they caught on the dry board and overbet and kind of, I don't know, less likely to fold the river because they're like draw.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes. So you're right. In theory, the draw completing river is more of a mandatory bluff for you, and it's actually like theoretically completely mandatory now. Whereas these ones we're talking about here are more optional and more just like exploitatively a good idea against the ABC reg. Like, don't do this against like complete fish with 58 VPIPs, right? Like, definitely not. But against regs at 25NL, they're not looking for a fight. They're staying out the way of the warrior, and going all in for 3x pot in the river is going to yield more than 75% fold equity against their range when you have the right combo. Like, it just is against the right reg. That said, on a completing, like, it's very possible for it to be winning for you to bluff ace 5 in this spot, and also winning for you to bluff a straight completing river as well, right? Both of those things can be true. And it doesn't make sense to say, is it better to do it on a straight completing river? The answer is yes, but that doesn't mean it's not okay to do it on this river with the right hands as well against the right player type. So like if you went to order like a, I don't know, say you went and ordered like a steak and fries at a restaurant, and you were like, I don't know whether to have the steak or is it better to have the fries? People would look at you like you're weird because you just have both of them together, right? So it's like, yes, bluff ace 5 on this brick river all in, but yes, definitely also bluff the straight completing river. What's better? Well, the steak is better than the fries, probably, but you still need the fries. You still want them, you know? So let's not compare things and pretend that they're mutually exclusive when they're not. That's a kind of a leak in poker players' thought processes sometimes, right? So
Okay.
I changed this river now to a 9, like a straight or king, a straight completing card. And now the solver, after they check, is going to go ahead and it's going to have a bit of a higher bet frequency. It's going to use these two sizes. And now it's totally mandatory to bluff ace-5. Like, it's not even an option anymore. So you're right. Like, yes, those hands are like automatic bluffs now. And you can go pot or you can go all in here. Like, I don't mind you having two sizes on river or something, pot or there or thereabouts, and then an all in for these spots. It's going to take you ages to get used to this as well, by the way. It's not going to be an overnight fix. Okay, Shu, what turns would you not overbet on? Give me an example of a turn where you would play a smaller sizing as the warrior, because the warrior doesn't overbet every single turn card. So what would be one here that you wouldn't want to overbet?
Maybe like 10 of a spade.
Yeah. So on the 10 of spades, or any spade really, but like 10 of spades is a good case in point. You would generally want to use a smaller sizing. It's going, God, this color scheme is so utterly revolting, isn't it, guys? It's called Autumn, the Autumn color scheme. And here it's not a great card to bet at high frequency anyway, but when you are bluffing, you know, you're using generally a smaller sizing. Anyway, I want to play some cards. I want you to like try this out. Main points of the strategy that we've talked about so far. Lots of aggression where we think people are folding a lot. Don't make up too many reads about whether someone's going to fold to you or what they're thinking. That's not what warriors do. Warriors don't get bogged down in like, oh, you might think that blah, blah, blah. It's just like, no, this is a good spot in general against weak regs. We take it. I want you to think about the weak reg in this session. I want you to picture your opponent as someone, if they're a reg, who's likely to crumble under pressure. And I want you to find spots to apply that pressure while still respecting your theoretical knowledge. I want you to c-bet almost every flop with range small, but some boards you are going to play checks on because they're just too bad. And then you're going to be playing either overbet on turn with these giant river sizes, or you're going to be playing a smaller turn sizing, and you're just constantly going to look for fold equity and hounding people. If you do have value, I also want you to play it fast. I want you to get in the habit of fast playing your value. This is so important. I can't stress this enough. It's a leak in your game anyway. And now that you're the warrior, people are going to pay you off left, right, and center once they get used to you. So if you do want to size down a value bet at the start a little bit, if you think it's going to be really overfolded, if you go all in on some card, for example, you could size down a value bet, but equally don't be afraid to go all in for value, to play your value really quickly as well. You are going to get called sometimes.
Okay.
Right. Can you share your screen with me, please?
Yeah. So there's only 33% on the flop or check, or I can also overbet the flop.
No. No big bets on the flop at all. Just always a small bet on the flop. And range bet most flops. We're studying the turn barrel and river barrel nodes. We're trying to get into double barrel and triple barrel really often. Those are our bread and butter nodes as the warrior.
Okay. Can I take 10 seconds just to use the toilet? I'll come back.
Imagine choosing the warrior, guys, huh? The warrior. In your first foray into 25NL, and you want to be a warrior? You barely played any cards yet, and you want to be a warrior, guys? What do you think of that choice? What do you think? Which third pairs are betting, says Hildreth. Generally, like low cards that are third pair on the turn are really good over bets because they get called by draws that they're ahead of and then check back river and win. Or they have great blockers on river, or they just improve two pair trips. They're really good combos. They block the top of range. Sure, can you share your screen, please?
Oh, it's gone?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
You stopped sharing.
Oh, I didn't do anything, but
you did. You stopped sharing.
Oh, I know why, because that the table opened too long, it just disappeared.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and now that's why I stopped sharing because I was showing the window. Wait 1 second.
Who wants to see some poker, guys? Yeah, sorry about those colors, guys. They were really revolting. We've just lost a bunch of viewers there.
Where is the sharing button? Share this, share. I got into a pot. Sorry, there
It's
was a.
fine.
I
We can
just
start. We
opened.
can
I
start.
just opened the table, and they were just bluffing already. He folded. Okay, good, good, good.
Right, you are the
Um,
warrior. You're not playing your you're kind of playing your normal game, but you're really adapting it today.
wait. Do I need to change my slider to 33 because I changed it to 25 now? I
Play
mean,
play
before I
33. I
changed.
want the pots being a bit bigger. Yeah, let's play 20. Let's play
Yeah.
33. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I need to wait. What was the? How can I? Wait. No, maybe not here. Here. Wait. Let me change the slider. Buy in. Betting 33. Okay. 33, 50, 73. Okay. Okay. That's good. And I stopped the auto fold on the
Thank
button, small
thank
blind, big
God for
blind.
that.
Yeah.
God.
Wait. So on the flop, I cannot overbet, right? On the
No,
flop.
no
No.
big bets at all. Just
Okay.
small bet on
Or-
flop. Your aggression
Small
comes later in the game tree.
or a check, right? Check also okay.
No,
No?
your
But I saw
range,
you said depending on the board.
your range. Yeah, okay. If the board's horrible, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 type stuff, you're allowed to check. But if it's a
Okay.
reasonably dry or safe board, it's a range bet. There are no checks. You're going to reach that turn node all the time. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Picture yourself as the warrior. Picture them as feeble civilians, and you as the honorable warrior, fearless, courageous,
I need to remember
ruthless,
because it's like
ruthless.
because before it was always like, now I need to remember this. Okay.
You're a red liner, Shu. There's no more of this checking the flop back. Bad coaching, Pete, says Max. Okay, let's see. Let's see what how
Please don't
Max is
have
going to
to.
explain this. Why is it bad coaching, Max? Go on, please indulge me.
Actually, I don't know. I will just fold this.
Yep. So you're not doing
Wait, before.
crazy weird shit that's terrible. Like
Okay.
you're not gonna take hands that you think are folds and continue them on flop or anything like that. But you are gonna look out for spots where people could be overfolding, and check raising
Okay.
against small c bets or floating them
Okay.
is definitely a good option.
Okay.
When you have the right hand, right? Obviously there are some standards there with your hand,
Hmm.
but look out for it.
Because before the example you showed was button versus BB, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
okay.
But I mean, you need to take these lessons and sort of apply them to other spots as well, right? It's not that
Okay.
isn't
Okay.
just coaching for button big blind.
Okay. 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 I just fold. Okay. That's good. Let's be patient. Be
Yeah,
patient.
exactly. You're not taking random spots. You're taking the spots that you think are good, and you're going to be hone your aggression in those. And you might try the style out for a while, and you might be like, I want to try a different style now, and that's okay. But let's do this for a while
Okay.
and see if it's right for you and see how
Yeah.
it goes.
Maybe next week I want to do polar bear.
Yeah,
Sounds good
Polar
too.
Bear's just doing a lot more checking than the Warrior. They're playing check strategies on flop. They're playing a lot more like turn and river nodes after check, and then they're polarizing really big on flop. They use bigger flop c bets. You're also going to play a
Oh,
lot of
he
3-bet
wants.
pots when you're the warrior, by the way, just in general. You're going to like find, take people into 3-bet pots and be aggressive as well. That's going to be a part of the warrior style.
Oh, he folded. Okay, I can call this. How about queen? Check raise is incoming. Slow, 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 slow.
Good.
Might have a draw. What should I do? Okay, I check raise. You said fast play, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Ah, that's
Your hand is good enough to fast play for value, and
yeah, and
because you
I don't block the club.
don't worry about that. Don't worry about the club. Like you have a strong enough hand to check raise on the flop. You can check raise on the flop. By the way, pre-flop you can also 3-bet. You can call or you can 3-bet. They're both fine. And I'm not saying you need to 3-bet that spot all the time or anything. I don't think that's like necessary for the style, but yeah, you can.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm a warrior. Okay, they all fold. Fine.
So guys, it would be really bad if this coaching, as Max says bad coaching, Pete, right? Maybe he thinks that like Shu doesn't have any fundamentals. He maybe doesn't know that we've done like the race to 25 and L. If this was a brand new student that hadn't just crushed 10 and L, I wouldn't be saying be a warrior to like someone that's brand new to the game or whatever, right? That would be very bad coaching. But I'm hoping, Shu, that you have enough skill set here to be able to apply this sensibly.
I think this is
Love
kind of
that
cool.
that open, by the way.
Yeah,
Good.
I sized down because it's broken stack. Actually, I don't know this. But I'm a warrior, right? Okay, let me try. Oh, he gonna raise me now. Oh, he called. Wow. But I feel like this is like a fish or something. Okay, I'll try. Let me take some time thinking about Queen 10, how to get the most value. Holy shit, he's calling me.
What's so absurd right now is like the whole chat, like a portion of them think that the validity of this approach depends on whether this bluff works right now. It doesn't.
Oh, actually it worked. Okay.
So your flop bet's great. Your open is fantastic against the weaker player. Like always open that and open way wider. I love that you size down. Your turn bet's fine because you went for a
Oh yeah,
smaller.
I didn't overbet.
You didn't overbet, but you're against a short stack, so you're not meant to overbet that
Yeah.
spot because you're not needing to pot grow. You do have an overcard. I do want you to understand that when you're out of position in a turn barrel spot, the standards are a little bit higher, but still, that's okay. You have a really clean overcard. It's like, okay, it's not really clean, but it's a decent card to hit. And I love your sizing scheme against the fish there. Like half pot, turn, overbet, river. That's going to do really well. That's a good warrior line. I like that line. I love the river bet, by the way. The river bet's really good. I think the river bet's working more than it needs to against a tight looking recreational there, not against like a whale. Good job. Turn's a little iffy, but it's not a big problem.
Size down when I hit my king.
Oh, you were joking, Max. That's okay then. I was ready for a fight. I was being the warrior. We all love the warrior. Someone said that we're injecting a bit more life into the game with this like styles approach, and that's what we're
Is
doing.
there bluff in this? Is there bluff in this? I think that's pretty strong. Actually, I fold this. I actually don't know.
Awesome handshoe.
Yeah.
Only critique is that's not a range bet board, and you can check it if you want. Like it's not a bad c bet. I'm just saying like that's one of the boards. So if you want to start checking, I'm fine. Love the size down on the turn. Like you're going to be betting a load of value combos there. I'm okay with
Yeah.
it. You go a bit bigger as well, and then like easy fold to the raise. It's very underbluffed that line. Great hand. You're playing really well so far. You've just nailed like 2 spots. Let's keep going. Let's keep playing.
Still
Playing
a
really
lot
well.
of unsure.
Jerka Maracek. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. This is my first message. I want to say I love your content. It's helping me a lot. You're very welcome. Glad that you're here, and thank you for commenting. Never enjoy silently. Always, show the love at Carrot Corner. Subscribe, hit the like button, comment, help the videos reach more people. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for voting. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it?
So do you feel different now that we've talked about like your natural style as a player and how to work on it? You feel different at the table?
Yeah, I definitely think about it more now, you know?
I think style is a very human way to teach the game because humans identify with like personas and characteristics and personalities, and I think this is a good way to get people to unlock their
I don't
potential.
know. 3 people. I think 3 people just folders. I don't know. Yeah.
But Chirpy Hop, there were so many people in the chat actually getting ready to judge the approach and whether that bluff got through. I promise you there are, because it's such a human thing to do.
3.
See, if I like streamed while I was, can you stream from like a phone? Is that a thing?
Me?
No,
Who?
like, can anyone stream from a phone? I just thought, like, I spend a lot of time in my car.
I think
Like, sorry, this is a completely random tangent. Like, what if I found a way to just, like, stream while driving? Like,
I
speaking.
think you can. I think you can.
Hmm.
You mean stream your poker table or you just stream talking?
No. I'm not gonna play poker while driving. That's like insanely dangerous. I'd just be talking, like I'd be talking on the phone. It would just be like a
Okay.
me rambling kind of stream. I just spend a lot of time driving. You know, I live in the countryside, so it's a little bit of
I'm
a
gonna
commute
open
for me
my
to get
range.
places. It's wasted time, you know. I could be making content. Could be farming the content, Shu, in that time.
Well, overbet is incoming. That's what you meant, right? There's a break turn. I guess shove river? But I'm blocking his trade, actually. He actually called. Actually, I don't know. Okay, let's try.
Okay, you just ran into a station,
Wow.
or you ran into someone who's
Whoa.
watching the stream.
Wow.
Those are the two options.
Well, I mean, I just based on what you said.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fine
Yeah.
against the overall population. It's fine. You can shove the river, and it's a straight completing river, which is great for your range generally. It's like pretty good for your range. It's not as good as a higher straight completing river, but it is good. Remember, you have two options on the river. You can shove, or you can go a bit smaller, like pot. There,
Okay.
thereabouts. You have those two bet sizes that you can draw from.
This one. Wow, that's a T call just with, yeah, wow, okay.
There is a chance that someone that you got really unlucky and it's someone that's just watched our whole preparation chat. Like there's a risk, right, with streaming. Or
I wanna,
you ran
I
into a
wanna,
station. Now there was a clue there in that hand that would have made me size down on the river. But the clue is like a bit hard to find, and we'll work on this stuff, so don't worry. But can you sit out a second, Sue? I want to see if you can
yeah,
figure out what I'm talking about. And by the way, there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with your line in theory. It's fine. And I think long term your line's going to be okay there as well. But there was a
But
clue.
that's what you meant, right? This kind of
Yes.
style.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
So well, you chose the style. I gave you four options. That's what you chose, was to
okay.
play like the warrior. And if you're playing like the warrior, you're looking for to just put people to the test like that all the time. I think on that river with the blocker to the straight and that
You want me
hand,
to show? I
yeah,
can show. I think
bring up
you
the hand.
cannot
Yeah,
see.
I think
Yeah,
it's a very reasonable bluff theoretically, and a very reasonable thing in practice as well. But there is a clue. I wonder if you can figure out what it is. I wonder if chat can figure out what it is. When you overbet the turn, what happened
mm.
next? What did you notice? Did you notice anything?
A straight complete.
No,
And
before
I,
that, before the river came,
oh,
did you notice anything? What did your opponent do when you overbet the turn?
he called pretty fast.
Not even pretty fast. He called instantly.
Yeah.
What does that mean for player type if someone calls you instantly without even taking a second? Who is that likely to be?
Calling station.
Could well be a fish or a tilted or calling station or something like that. So
Yeah.
if you want to bluff the river there and you have your two options, right? The warrior's a bit about finesse as well. Warriors are not barbarians, right? The barbarian is
Mm.
not a style because it's just like bluffing indiscriminately, right? So we don't recommend the barbarian style. We recommend the
Mm.
warrior style. And the warrior style is like, if my opponent snap calls me and could be a fish on the turn, maybe I
Mm.
just go for my smaller sizing. Maybe use a slight overbet. Remember we talked about elasticity? Maybe all in is no longer the right sizing against someone that's not thinking because the elasticity is very low. Their propensity to react to different bet sizes could be zero if it is a fish or a station.
Mm.
So look out for like weird things like high VPIPs, short stacks, snap timing that's like so instant that they're not even thinking, and definitely there you want to think about just using your slider, dialing it down considerably against those players. So you have the right idea. It's just you missed a clue that would have caused me to say, okay, that could well be a calling station. That's the only thing we missed there.
Or he is watching this.
Or he's watching this, exactly. Or he's watching this. And I think that's less likely, but it isn't impossible. It isn't impossible.
That was insane. He also river instant called. Not even think.
I know. It's probably just
Yeah.
someone that's tilted in their
Instant.
station, honestly. Or it's someone that's knows what you're doing. But this is where
Yeah.
you know you'll develop a feel for this, and you will get. I want you to get used to both sizes on the river, and I want you to feel free to shove. And the more bricky the river, the more you're going to play shove, and the more stuff completes, the more smaller sizes you're also going to use, especially if your opponent can have the nuts, right? Like there, they can have the
Yeah.
nuts. So using the smaller size quite often is also good. I think
Mm,
you want to get used to doing both, and you also want to just keep
okay.
looking out for clues. Keep looking out for
Yeah.
clues.
But generally, what I did there, that was the right approach
I think
for
bluffing the
work.
river is right. Yeah, you just missed the timing thing on the turn that does change the EV from the default approach a bit. It just makes it more likely that you're going to get like stationed on the river. That's all. And it makes it more
Mm,
likely you might want to go down with the sizing if you're
okay.
bluffing.
Okay.
We start off playing against an overall pool, right? Like we don't really know who our opponents are, and then we try and just use clues to narrow it down a bit.
7 deuce. It was 7 deuce.
But yeah, good turn bluff, by the way. It's a very, very standard overbet spot on turn.
Oh, 3%. I like this guy. 3%. Instant fold. Instant fold. Yeah, I think I open up a little bit on the everywhere actually. Especially on the button
Good,
and small blind
good.
range. I open
Highly winning
as you said.
stuff to do. Highly winning. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, okay.
But when you're playing the style shoe, you're going to get stacked sometimes
Alright.
bluffing as well. You have to be aware of that. You are just going to get stacked at times.
You're gonna raise me. Okay. Well, maybe I do bet or I don't bet. Actually, I don't know. I'll do this. Folding. Okay. So he's saying I have a flush. One, two, three, four, five.
The one of spades.
Oh, straight guy there. Oh, I actually don't block this. And I could also have a flush. Actually, I fold here.
Great fold.
What do you think?
Yeah, this is your strength. You're really
Fold.
good at folding in the right spots. I love your folding game, generally.
I don't even be straight. I could have a flush, right? I called.
I don't believe you, Max, because you just trolled earlier. Max says they stream sniped you, but I don't believe it. You're going to need to prove it.
I mean, I possible I got bluffed. He could have a king.
Yeah, so what?
Yeah.
It's possible. That's not a reason to call in under bluff spots. It's a great fold. Well done.
Okay, so 33.
This is fun, guys. Fun stream.
Thank you.
Warrior
I mean,
takes it down. Now, on the turn.
I didn't need to overbet.
No, but think about your opponent's range a little bit on the turn. They are, when the ace comes, they're going to hit some totally nutted stuff, right? Like two pair. And then they're going to have like some weaker stuff. So if you want to go slightly smaller on that ace turn, not loads smaller, but slightly smaller, that's fine too. Going back to the hand where you had trips, if you're going to reopen the turn, which is fine, and I'm okay with value betting, trips is great because it can improve to a boat and then you like destroy a flush. And you can get caught by worse already. I'd say that when you're in position, the third pot sizing for reopening is not really worth it. Like you might just want to check in that case. If you want to reopen for like half pot plus, that's fine. Like half pot to B75, I think that's fine. I just go a bit bigger. It's not a mistake to go third pot, but I think it's more coherent to just play a bigger reopening game when you're in position. It's just not worth reopening for that tiny size there, especially when your opponent's uncapped. I don't think you should have checked. I think you could bet bigger and it's fine, or checking is okay. I just think third pot in position in general is not a great idea. But look, what happened in the hand has nothing to do with that. That's separate. What happened in the hand was you ran into the top of their range, most likely, and you played it perfectly. So what happens?
Okay.
You're playing good poker today. You're playing really good poker today. This is good. I know you lost a stack bluffing and you ran into a snap calling sniper / station. Okay, whatever. It happens.
I really feel like he must be watching this. That's
Maybe.
like,
That's
I
the
was
thing, right?
thinking.
You need to tag the regs
Mm.
that you think are actual regs that are really trying hard and watching streams and stuff. And then you need to tag the people that are more recreational or like kind of net regs. Like they're different.
Oh, check raise is incoming. Check raise is incoming.
See, we're planning ahead now. This is what the warrior does. They recognize the spots they're going to be aggressive in advance. They plan ahead
Bet
a bit.
big, I'm still gonna check raise. Oh, this small. Okay.
They never bet big.
Thank you.
He's betting like his range on a board where he shouldn't, and you're just like, I have the right
Yeah.
hand to bluff, I bluff. You're gonna like overbet the turn there, slight overbet. When you check raise flop, you don't need to be 150 anymore, but you can be 120 the turn a lot if you pick up some equity.
Yeah.
That's the style, right?
Oh, they call it. Can I check this? I actually want to check, but you still have to bet. Okay, I'll check this. Okay, now he gonna bet. Is he gonna bet? Oh, he overbet. Okay, I'm not gonna.
So that board's not
Yeah, or
not quite bad enough that I want you building a checking range, because we've not talked about how to build a checking range on boards like that. That board's still kind of safe, so I still want you range betting that board. For now, I only want you building a checking range if it's like 987, 654, things like this, right? Like the really middling, connected, nasty boards, we can build a checking range. Otherwise, just B33. It's totally fine. In theory, it's totally fine to B33 that board. It's at least minimal EV loss.
Because I was just thinking, like, if on the turn he bets small and I pick up some draw, I can just check raise him. But I didn't think that he will.
Yeah, but you're tunnel visioning. That's just one node. Like, there's so much more to the game tree than that. Let's stick to the game plan, mostly.
Oh no, it's this one. Just check call.
Filter for scavenging. Sorry, you asked that question the other day, didn't you? EOUW. Filter for scavenging. I'll tell you after the hand. I'll have a think about it. Yep, great hand shoot.
What's he doing?
5 out redraw.
I'm planning to raise. I'm planning to shove. He bet again.
Yeah, yeah, that line has legs. Like that line has some.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm somewhat intrigued by that line. But anyway, going back to the way you played that, great. You know, you're playing a wide range strategy on flop. People know that's what's going on a lot of the time, that people are betting range a lot these days. So then you check turn, they bet, you have a 5 out redraw, you block some of their value. It's just too good a hand to fold for the spot. Well done. Well done.
Actually, I don't know.
Is she coaching him? Asked someone on Twitch. Maybe it won't be long till that's happening. At this rate. She's playing A game today. I totally agree, Cydrus. 100% A game.
I don't know. If you're thinking about check raise, you'll fold this. Feels like a lot of money. I just river 2 pair, so
Maybe a slightly big check raise for rivering 2 pair, but maybe.
thank you.
Look at this.
I'm
Just
a warrior!
running people over as the warrior, right? Let's look at this hand. I don't want to just be like, it worked, it's great. Let's look at it. Always
Wait,
tempting to say it worked, it's great.
After this.
After this hand.
After that.
Okay.
Oh, he's. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I just fold this. It's okay. Yeah. Turn bottom pair into bluff.
Okay, so I missed the start of this. I was reading chat. So we open small blind, c bet small on flop, got called, check, and then check, raise river. Yeah, this is a cool line. I'm on board. I think this is fine. I think this is the sort of spot where People do not expect to be bluffed, and the average reg is not going to want to fight you in this spot, and they're capped as well to boot. Like when they don't have fours here, or jack four suited, they're just super capped. This is a great spot to attack. And I think call is like not great because they've filtered and then a 10 came. So if they've not filtered yet, like you can just call the spot, right? Like if you check flop and turn. But because they filtered a bit, this is, oh, they checked you on flop and you bet, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've filtered a bit, I think it's just way less bluffs now, and I love this. And this is really good. This is the sort of spot people are going to be, not very good in. Yeah, sorry about that chirpy hop with the mic volume. It's because I'm moving about and I don't have my normal filters. I poured a cup of coffee into the mega carrot corner computer on Tuesday, and it's waiting to go back to the shop to get looked at. And I'm very sad, so I've got my laptop set up here. Very sad times at Carrot Corner HQ. Yep, you're playing really well today.
But actually, if you think a little bit more, it kind of doesn't make sense, right? On the turn, I don't like, I check back, so I'm not that strong. On the river, suddenly I'm strong, unless I have pocket fours that was bluffing, or I hit four deuce. It's
Yep.
also, it's just
7-4
make
suited,
sense.
Jack 4 suited, pocket fours, or pretend if you'd
Jack.
gone smaller, you could maybe even claim to have like King Jack, like if you'd gone like really small. But I think you're right. You're basically saying that you've hit something on the river that's really good. However, the flip side of this is that people also do not expect to get bluffed here, because this is a really rare line. Like people do not expect you to check back the turn and bluff raise them on the river either. So you can say my line doesn't, and it's huge, yeah. So you can say my line doesn't make sense, oh no. But in reality, all we care about is empirically what will happen if we raise. Like, what is our fold equity? That's what the warrior is assessing. And if your fold equity is pretty high, it doesn't really matter. Like, get out of your own head. Like, yes, we're building a character for you today, but try not to fall victim to main character syndrome, where you only think about, like, your own range and what you think of it. What matters is what villain's going to do. This is about beating villain, right?
But then maybe I should just all in. Probably instant fold.
You need to be a bit careful, because in spots like this, your opponent has an uncapped range technically, because when they check the turn, they are checking to the aggressor, right, of the previous street. So your opponent can have 8-9 here or pocket tens here. So going all in is not the right sizing for this tiny pot. That would be like a gross, a butchering of risk reward. Basically, it would ruin your risk reward, and it would cost so much when you ran into the nuts, and you will sometimes run into the nuts here. That all-in play is for when your opponent's range is predominantly capped and you're uncapped. This is not the right spot for it. You're more capped than them here. So if anything, I would have gone a little smaller on river, but river's okay. You didn't go that small. You didn't go that big. It's okay. How is your former podcast host doing? She's great. Melissa's playing 5-10. I talked to her the other day. We're going to do a comeback special episode of Poker Distilled at some point as well. You know, always bigging up the girls in poker here at Carrot Corner. Want to get them on the stream, get more women playing the game as well would be really awesome, guys. So, you know, if you are a girl out there watching this playing poker, start your own stream like Shu did. You have a stream, right, Shu? Do you want to tell everyone how they can find you?
Yes, follow me.
How can they find you?
My Twitch stream name is Victor_Franco_. I will send in the chat if that's okay for you.
Someone said yesterday, I love the streams you do with Victoria. And I was like, who the hell is Victoria? Then I realized they just sort of misunderstood your screen name.
Victoria.
I've got a few more. I've got some more time. If you want to play a little bit more, we can. If you've got to go, that's fine as well. I know we said an hour, but what do you want to
do? Maybe one more. Yeah.
One more, like orbit/discussion. Sounds good.
Yeah. Wait. I just want to type my name just in case we just talk about it, right? Franco. Okay. Please follow. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Whoa, you have 100 people watching. Or
do
92.
we?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I think they're watching me.
I kind of agree, because I struggle to get that kind of viewership usually.
Yeah, you have 100 people watching.
I think we make a good team, because we're quite opposite. You know, I'm quite grumpy and academic, and you're quite impulsive and fun. So there we go.
You mean like, you don't deserve to play poker?
You don't deserve to play the game.
Okay, I'm gonna raise this. I think it's good to, it's okay to raise, right? Okay.
Yeah, let's get some
Fine.
3-betting going.
I'm a warrior now.
You've always been a warrior, Shu, but we've now given you the license to unleash your inner warrior.
I just realized my VPIP is 30? I've never seen this before. Oh my god.
Stop looking at your VPIP. Sometimes your VPIP will be like 9 because you'll just be dealt bad hands. It doesn't mean you're going to start opening 8-3 off in the cutoff.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I got a lot of check raise because like 31 check raise. They see me lose.
By the way, guys, we changed how Carrot Corner works. If you don't know, check out the new look of the website. We have organized everything into 2 learning pathways. The Silver Carrot Pass gets you access to the Silver Carrot pathway, including Grade 1 Carrot Poker Skill, Cash Injection, True EV, and loads more goodies, including the Silver Carrot Pro Library. The Golden Carrot Pass gets you access to everything. It is your all-in button. If you like the way I teach the game, the way I create content, you want to see the best stuff I've ever made, including the famous Carrot Poker Skill, check out carrotcorner.com with the link in the description after this stream. I'm like an ad read, just basically like a living, breathing ad read at this point.
Oh, interesting. Get squeezed. Get squeezed. I knew it. Do I want to get involved in this? Do I want to get involved in this? I actually don't know. Okay, we're warrior now. Well, there is some potential. Backdoor. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, that's too loose. Oh, yeah. That's not what warriors do. Warriors don't play 9-3 suited. The complete is like losing probably, although the guy does look terrible, but he doesn't even have that much money and the hand's awful. Fold pre, and then that raise you definitely cannot call. That's hemorrhaging quite considerably. Don't become loose passive pre-flop. Look for spots where fold equity is high. Don't say I'm a warrior now, I'm gonna make some loose passive call. You're a warrior now, so you're going to be picking your battles. You're going to be using aggression where you think people are folding too much. That's what it means to be a warrior. Don't use this as a tagline to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do that's bad.
You're right. You're right.
I'm going to come down hard on it the first time because this is the danger with this style of coaching. When you coach personas of poker player, people do just sometimes lose sight of like EV. Never lose sight of EV. Always track EV. You're getting good at it, so always track it.
Interesting. Oh, it's a unanimous vote.
Maybe I will stream in the car, guys. I'll set up some car ranting streams. Shu is also an attractive woman and Pete is just Pete. Yeah, fair. That's fair. Can't argue with that. Just
Pete. Give me your number.
Poor old Pete.
Holy shit, this 7 deuce. Well, at least my numbers come down to 20 something. That's good. Not 30 anymore.
Felix says, just started the stream and she was clearly a polar bear. Protected check ranges and big raises come naturally. Yeah, but like the time she's checking, the warrior would check too, because she's just kind of checking the middle, right? And I don't think that's necessarily a polar bear. I think the polar bear is like going bigger from the earlier streets and like building and checking way more often, whereas this warrior is like constantly building pots and then playing them. They're not that dissimilar, to be honest, but the polar bear is more passive overall than the warrior, but does have the really big stuff in there.
People just fold to me.
More 3-bet pre-flop. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Jerka, yeah, definitely try and err on the side of playing 3-bet pot shoe, because that's where you get to unleash the warrior style at its fullest potential. So don't make bad 3-bets, but if something's close between 3-bet and call, err on the side of 3-betting as your default, for sure.
Okay.
Who is Viktor Frankl? Viktor Frankl, I believe, was it like a philosopher or like who was Viktor Frankl? I don't really know.
A psychiatrist.
Okay.
Yeah, psychiatrist. Wait a second. Yeah, I think he's Polish, Austrian, maybe not mix. The descent, Polish, Austrian, and survived the Holocaust. And he wrote the book, one of my favorite book, Man's Search for Meaning, which has been read by the most read book by the billionaires in the world.
Wow. Wow.
So I was like, okay, I need to read this book. And then I was reading this book. I like it. It really helped me a lot.
Yeah, it's helped you and many of your fellow billionaires.
Check raise is incoming.
Good luck check raising in position, but okay.
Oh. But you said in position, there is no small bet, right? But I still feel like some values. I mean, I don't afraid of. Okay, there you go. Guys, just shop. Thinking. Think about bluffing. Use all my 10 banks. Hard decision. What should I do? Rivered. I hope you have the king high flush.
Love this
Oh,
hand.
he's thinking. No instant fold. That's good.
I love this
That's
hand.
good.
This is a good hand again.
That's good.
So I said don't. I said don't reopen the third pot in position as like a default thing to do. But against the recreational with that specific hand, I think you do want to bet the turn. And again, you could maybe go up the
Okay.
half pot in position. Like you're not going to overbet that hand class. It'd be a polarization, be a bit weird, but you can definitely go a bit bigger in position on the turn there when you're reopening. Third pot is all right, but a lot of the time it's not worth reopening for third pot. It's not that it's bad per se. I might just size up a bit. Like if I'm using a small in position size, that's going to be like B60 or B50 or something. If I'm using a small out of position size, that might be B33. That's how I think about it.
Okay.
I was trying to explain why the views on the stream are up. Sorry, Pete. No, I'm not offended. I purposefully, it's a strategic move on my part to drive up views and sell courses anyway. That's the only reason you're here, Shu. You're not here for your poker strength or your merit or your intellect. Come on.
I'm happy to be used.
Great.
Ooh,
Me too, by the way.
gut shot. Gut shot.
I like how you say my name. Can you call me Jiri? Jiri? Okay, you got it.
Let's go.
When do you recommend to learn weapons of war, cash injection? Okay, they're very different. So cash injection, you want to start at about grade 1 lecture 4 as part of the silver carrot pass for that reason. You want to mix that in from the beginning. It's a quick boost to your win rate. It's an exploitative course that is designed to drive up your win rate as you learn theory and help you mesh theory with exploits soon. Weapons of war is about arming your game with extra lines and options for when you're more advanced. I would do weapons of war when you're moving on to grade 3 of the carrot poker skills. So they're very different courses. Don't think of them as the same thing just because they're both exploitatively focused. They're very different.
Thanks.
Pete is Bay, says Moist Flops. What does it mean to be Bay, Shu? Is that good?
Sorry?
To be Bay, what does it mean? Is that a good thing? To be a Bay or to be Bay? B-A-E.
I don't know what that is.
I think it means I'm a babe. I think it's good.
Babe?
I think it means I'm hot.
Oh, who's hot?
Well, Moist Flop says I'm a Bay. So there you go. They're trying to make me feel better.
Hot. They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. Not very convincingly.
We had some interesting hand today. I like it.
This has been a good session. Really good session.
Yeah.
Shame our one like that all in ran into a station or whatever, but don't worry about it. Happens.
I don't like my escape. Got 3 bad now. Or no. Oh. Shame. It's okay.
And I tell you what, as well, no one would like to play against you right now, like the way you're playing, but absolute nightmare. That's what you want to do as the warrior.
Wait, but can I still change next week or I have to stick to this role forever?
No, not forever. What I would do is I would try to do this for a while until you get a bit better at it, and then maybe switch it up a bit after that, and then eventually you just have all the different roles. But I'd do it for a while.
Then I would be like switching up and keep people guessing and just like, oh, sometimes a warrior and
Sometimes the
sometimes
weasel. Yeah. You want to call the weasel. The weasel does bluff sometimes. If you throw
I don't
bronze tier in,
know.
Pete, will you add some more of the YouTube content, coaching journeys, for example, as library content? Maybe. We've not really thought about that. We don't want there to be too much content in bronze tier because we want people getting onto the really good stuff soon. But there's going to be 12 videos in bronze tier. I've already recorded 6 of them. So we have why poker players get stuck. That's the first one. Then ranging, not guessing is the second one, and then how winning players think is the third one. Then we have flop apprenticeship, turn apprenticeship, and river apprenticeship, where we go over like some of the most important nodes for those streets briefly. Then we have the beginner blueprint series, which is already a thing, but we're going to splice it up into 3 videos. And then we have planning your poker career, like how to like take the next steps, what to study, when to study, how to do it, how to play, that sort of thing. So I think that's 12 videos in total we're planning for now. It wouldn't be great if we had like a library of like 150 bronze videos for free. It's like, who would ever buy the good stuff? And we want you guys taking Carrot Poker School because it's literally, in my opinion, awesome. I'm a little bit biased, I would say that. But we have testimonials as well. You can check out testimonials on Carrot Corner. We have one from Barack Obama. Sent us in a testimonial saying that I was really good at cards. We have one from Neil Armstrong, the guy that went to the moon first. He sent us before he passed away, he sent us a testimonial. And we actually have one from Abraham Lincoln's great granddaughter as well, who says I'm good.
Believable.
No, they're actually from Phil Galfond, legitimately, and Clanty and Benababi, the 3 we have up at the moment. That's the famous people ones. Yeah. You like Clanty? You're a Clanty fan?
Oh my god, Clanty is warrior.
He is a warrior. He is a warrior.
Black call behind with a 543. Oh my god. I'm not gonna bet this. Let me check. Someone please have something. Now I can't even bluff a 5 now. No one has a 5. Oh, no need to. I love money. I don't hate money, so I just call here. And I need to think about it. I have a flush draw. What should I do? Wow. Shit. His flush get there. I mean, he's gonna shove, right? Please, please bet. Okay. Still too strong, but he's 5. He seems like I just let him bet, right? Oh no!
So that is what happens
Shove.
when you put deceiving your opponent before EV. That's what happens. When your flop thought process is all about, I want to pretend I don't have a good hand, this is what happens. When you don't raise the flop, you do win less money against the queen. I want you to understand that. You maximize against bluffs when you slow play, and you minimize against medium hands that aren't folding to raises, and very often a queen isn't folding to a raise there. I don't actually hate that slow play, all of that being said, because I think your opponent's range is quite strong, and I think they are going to bet the turn quite often. And I think they do have a flush a fair amount, but I just don't think they're bluffing that spot.
Oh, I can flow. He's small. I want to flow this. I have 2 overcard to the 7, and I can pick up 6, 8, jack, or 3. I'm gonna think a little bit of my. He knows me! Oh my god! Oh. Checking. I guess I don't need to bet too big, right? I want to try. He's calling. He didn't bet this. I think he's calling me. Okay.
Yep, good hand. I think lots of sizes on the river are okay. So
Good
I wanna show you that I wanna sit out now and I wanna analyze those 2 hands that you played, okay?
Okay. Right now?
Yep. Dad duty resumes shortly.
This one or the 5?
The 5's first.
Both?
So I want you to listen
Yeah.
carefully to what I'm about to say. Very carefully.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Having the nuts is not an automatic reason to slow play.
Yes.
So if you're in position, you do more slow playing. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you can still bet the river. You have the last
Still bet the
say.
turn. You can ensure
At
pot
the
growth.
turn, yeah.
But out of position, you can't control that. When you check raise this hand, you get called by a flush draw, generally, right? And on turn as well. And if villain ever makes a flush, you will be called. So raising is good if villain has a flush draw. Agreed?
Yeah.
It's good. They're not going to fold
Yeah.
a flush draw. If villain has a queen, raising is probably better because you get loads of money and they might even shove. And what happens in this hand where villain gets freaked out and stops betting doesn't happen. So I think you should raise the flop here because your opponent's range is more mergy and it's stronger because he's a tight player that's bet into multiple people. If you thought villain was a maniac that had a load of bluffs, then you slow play. But having quad 5s is not a reason to slow play. And I don't like that thought of, I like money, so why would I raise? I think this is like extremely biased and it doesn't consider EV. You're trying to stop your opponent folding at all costs. You're like hoping they stay in the pot. But you need to think of their range a bit more. You have to be more specific. You have to think about their range and what you want to do against that range. And I think here you do want to fast play this spot, probably. If they're not a maniac. I think this one's close, though. I do think this one's a little bit close. Okay. The second hand I want to talk about is the 10-9. So, calling the flop here, I don't hate it. I think it's close, as long as you understand that you have to bluff the river, which I think you do understand, right? That's like what we call river blunder theorem in grade 2 character poker school. You've got to bluff that node. And on river, you talk me through the different value hands you could have, right? So let's start with the sizing you picked. What are you saying you have when you go that 2x pot sizing? What does that correlate with for value?
I have at least a 5.
Yeah, at least trips. Yeah, so you're saying you have
straight.
exactly. Exactly. You're saying like 4 deuce, a set, unlikely because you don't raise flop. A 5 probably, a 5 plus, let's say, right? A 5 plus. What other value hand could you have that's not as good as a 5 that could still value bet?
Like ace king, ace queen? Maybe?
No, not ace king, ace queen, because you're big blind and you flatted pre. So probably not ace queen. Maybe ace queen upset sometimes, but not really.
Ace 7?
That's but like you can also value bet like just any ace, right? You don't need to have 2-pair or ace king, ace queen to value bet the river. All that's happened is the opponent's bet flop small and you've called, then they've checked back the turn. So follow the action sequence. That's a very passive action sequence. So any ace is quite good here. So you could bet, what sizing could you bet with an ace for value here? Let's say you had ace 8. What sizing could you bet?
Just 75?
Yeah, that's probably fine. Half pot, 75, block. They're all okay. I think 75 is good with a hand like ace 9, ace 8, where the kicker is playing to some extent. Ace 10, yeah 75. And it's possible you could even block here with pocket 8s or a 7. And you just bet really small, like B20. And then you're forcing some king high to call. So the point is, even though you're the warrior, and even though our lesson was on the really big river sizing, there are other bluff sizes available as well at times, right? To your range. And I want you to experiment. I want you to feel like you do have options. I like the overbet's good here. Like, I like it. I think it's great. You've got 4-6, you've got deuce 4, you've got loads of 5x, you've got loads of value that maps to that. You do want to overbet here a lot, but you also want to use some smaller sizes too, as well. Because if you're only ever overbetting with your bluffs, if you're putting all of your bluffs into your overbet, long term against the people that are watching your stream and stuff, they're going to know your overbets are just full of shit, right? And that's not a consideration for now. It's not something I really care that strongly about, but I just want you to be aware that in theory there's other bluff sizes too, even for the warrior. Sorry about the noise, guys. We've got the building work going on here. All right, I am going to let you go and enjoy your evening, and I will go do some dadding. and we will maybe meet up again next week if you want, and we could. What's next
Yeah,
week?
let's do it. It's fun. I learned so much. Yeah.
Keep fleshing out the warrior style for now, but I'll take you through a couple of other nodes in our teaching part of the call before we get on to the play. Guys, check out Carrot Corner if you like the way I teach the game. If you want to become a warrior like Shu, definitely have a look at cash injection, start learning some theory, build it in the right way. Don't just rock up to the tables and say, I'm a warrior, I do whatever I want. You've got to know how the game works, and that's what we can help with. Click that link in the description, and I'll see you for more content next week. And go and watch the video on the menace, by the way, that dropped yesterday. Go and watch that for free on YouTube and see what you think of it and see if that's your style, guys. Okay, this is the part
Great.
where we
Thank
wave
you.
goodbye to the audience.